let's get to the real deal. Jerrick's beloved Kansas City Chiefs fell to the Denver Broncos on the road this past weekend and dropped to 5-5, guys. As of right now, if the playoffs started today, Patrick Mahomes would not be in the playoffs. So I'm gonna let Jerrick start this segment off. Is it time to panic in KC?
No, it's not. It's not at all. It's not time to panic. And I don't think anybody in KC in the organization or anybody in their fan base is panicking. The only people that are really talking about this and being so big on this is the outside world and the fans and the media. Um, they're literally one game behind the team that's in seventh. That's in the seventh spot right now. They're one game behind them. Now, of course, they would have to become one game ahead of them because it's Jacksonville, and Jacksonville has the head-to-head tiebreaker over them. But still, when I look at their remaining schedule, they have the Colts, the Cowboys, the Texans, Chargers, Titans, Broncos again in Arrowhead, and then they play the Raiders again. At 7 games, they can go 7-0, or they can go 6-1. They're 5-5 right now. If you go 6-1, that's 11-6. No way they missed the playoffs at 11-6. Like they're going to get to 10 or more wins. And if you miss the playoffs at 10 or more wins, I don't know what to tell you. Like that just be mind blowing in my eyes because I just don't see it. I don't see like a team like Jacksonville. I don't see them sustaining this success. I don't see it happening. Like this is the time where teams that aren't supposed to be where they are, they're going to start to crumble and they're going to start to show their true colors. And the teams that we know should be here are going to be here. That's just like, I mean, yeah, I'm not worried at all. I'm not, and especially because of who is back there at quarterback, Patrick Mahomes. Like I've literally seen people talk about it and say like nobody's scared of Patrick Mahomes anymore. Like the league is caught up to. No, they haven't. I'm not understanding because the Patrick Mahomes that everybody fears is the Patrick Mahomes from December and January and February. So I'm not worried at all. I know they're going to turn this around. I know there's teams that are in the playoffs as of right now that are going to fall back, that are going to crumble, that are going to show their true colors. Like the Chargers, they're looking bad. The Jacksonville Jaguars are not a good football team. And the Texans, I mean, like your best option as the Texans right now is to keep Davis Mills in at quarterback. That's how I know they're not going to sustain what they're doing. So no, it's not time to panic. And if it was time to panic in KC, are we saying this just because of their recent stretch of games? Because if we look at it, they have the same record as the Baltimore Ravens, and their
But
upcoming
it's okay. Keep going. Sorry, keep going. Keep going.
schedule is easier than Baltimore's upcoming schedule. So, like I said, are we saying this because of the fact that they've been playing bad football the last couple of games, and then of course Baltimore apparently somehow I don't know how. If you've been watching the games I've been watching, Baltimore's been playing good football. Is that the difference right now? Because they have the same record. Right now, they have the same record. The Chiefs are in the ninth spot. Baltimore's in the 10th spot. So it's not time to panic in KC. Because then we'd be asking the same question: is it time to panic in Baltimore, even though they're on a 3-game winning streak? So no, this is when Mahomes, Andy Reid, they're going to bring out their best football. And honestly, I feel like this might make them a little bit more dangerous because now they have to play. We've never seen the Chiefs play desperate football before. Never. So now it's time for them to tap into that and play desperate football. I'm not gonna panic at all. I'm not. The only time I'm gonna panic is whenever that guy on Sunday Night Football that shows up, that's gonna start showing up in a couple weeks with the probabilities on the board. Whenever he says the Chiefs are eliminated, that's when I'll panic. But until then, I have faith in 15.
All right, so I'm gonna respond to what you said about Baltimore in a second. But Rell, is it time to panic in KC?
No, sir, at all. It's not time to panic at all. And if you're saying panic in Kansas City, you probably just lost a lot of money this year, or you're just a casual football fan. Like Jerrick said, I truly, honestly don't see them losing again. I know I said this last week and the week before that, but this is a Chiefs team that we've seen start off 11-0 last year. Like this is a Chiefs team that could win any single game every single week. They have the best quarterback, most talented quarterback of all time. Okay, so I feel like after taking these two losses back to back, especially coming off that bye week. This will be a huge bounce back game, and I think this will be the game that gets the offense back in rhythm. Then moving on to the division talk, because I know the NFL world is saying Denver has the division locked up. Denver has the division locked up. Shut up, because week 17, you guys are going to be right back saying Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. Let me just spill some out to you guys. So Denver is on their bye week right now.
Yep.
Coming off their bye week, they had to play Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders. Then after that, they still have to play the Packers, Jaguars, Chiefs, and Chargers. That's a tough schedule to end the season off on. A very, very tough schedule. So I'm not confident in saying they're going to win the division. I'm actually confident in saying they are going to drop 4 of these last 6 games, and the Chiefs will still win the division. That's how confident I am in Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. But come on, this is the best quarterback we ever seen. Like, let's not just disrespect them, because we seen them start off at 5-5, and that's not a bad record at all.
All right, so I'm gonna address both of y'all first, and then I'm gonna say my take. So with Rell, you said the Broncos. So the reason why I believe the Broncos have the division on locks is because they're 3 games ahead with the tiebreaker. So let's just say, like, you're banking on a Broncos collapse, right, over the next couple of weeks is what you're banking on, correct?
Not even a Broncos collapse, because these are some really good teams that have at the end of their schedule. So it wouldn't even be a collapse. It would just be some tough games lost.
Tough games. Got you. So what would have to happen is the Chiefs would have to go 6-1 or win out. And that collapse happens for not collapse, but them losing a couple games for the Broncos. Both of that would have to happen. And I'm not confident that the Chiefs can go undefeated the rest of the way. I'm not confident they can go 6-1 the rest of the way, because they lose 2 games. Their best they can do is 10-7. The Broncos are 9-2, so they have 5 games they can drop if the Chiefs were to lose 2 more games the rest of the year. See what I'm saying? So the reason why I think the AFC West is on locks is not because of the Chiefs, not the Chiefs. It's the Broncos being ahead by 3 games with the tiebreaker right now. And then if the Chiefs, of course, lose to them in week 17, right? That's when they play again, or week 18, then of course they would have the division. So I think it's just so much in the Broncos' favor that they should be able to lock this up and win this division. Now, Jerrick, you said that if we panicking about KC, we should panic about Baltimore. Well, there's apples and oranges, right? KC is the standard. KC is the team that's been to the Super Bowl over the past 5 years, right? They've been representing the AFC. It's different. Baltimore, we're trying to see them get there. KC, the expectation is you're going to be there again. Versus Baltimore, we're saying, can you get there? So it's different. You can't compare it to Baltimore because it's 2 different, it's 2 different standards here. But with Kansas City, I will say this. I do not think they are as good as they once was, right? I think we can admit there is some regression. The defense is not that scary to me. Outside of Chris Jones, who is making plays on that defense, right? Trent McDuffie, he can only make plays whenever you throw the ball to him, right? But other than that, like, I think this defense is very gettable. On Sunday, it was a couple times Bo Nix was in 3rd and long, 2nd and long, and he was converting them. Bo Nix converted, right? So I feel like the defense is not where it once was, and offensively, Mahomes, he's been playing in spurts this year. I feel like at the beginning of the year he wasn't that great. Then he won the last little stretch, was great, and over the past 2 weeks he hasn't been that great. Like, if you would have told me going into Sunday that Bo Nix would outplay Mahomes, I would have laughed in your face. But if you actually look at the game, I believe Bo Nix outplayed Mahomes. Go ahead.
He went against the best defense in football.
You're the best quarterback.
But that's the best defense in football. Like this year, if we really look at it, Mahomes, O-line, they have taken a step back as well. So, like, you see, he got outplayed by Bo Nix, but you just said the Chiefs' defense isn't once what they were, and he just played the best defense even without Patrick Surtain. That defense is still really, really great. Like, you have to cut the man some type of slack. I understand here you go, because he held to this high standard.
Yes.
He played the best defense in football. Whenever Peyton Manning played the Seattle Seahawks in the Super Bowl, people don't really bring that game up anymore because he played the Legion of Boom. He played those guys. This man just played the best defense in football. You have to cut him some type of slack. A division game in Denver, he gets no pass.
A must win. So the reason why I locked the Chiefs up last week as my money line lock is because in a must-win game, I just knew Mahomes would overcome all odds. He would overcome that great defense you're talking about. But he didn't. That interception he threw in the red zone where they could have got 3 points on that 3rd down, that was not Mahomes-like. Mahomes don't make mistakes like that. Right, we've seen it. We saw it early this year against Jacksonville. Right, we threw that pick 6 on when it was going into about to score on the 1 yard line. Threw a pick 6. Like, that's not Mahomes like. Right, those 2 mistakes low key cost them those 2 games, right? And it could be the reason why they're 5-5. So what I'm saying is, I hold Mahomes to this high standard. You do too. So don't come at me talking about, oh, the defense is so good, you got to cut some slack. No, that's an argument.
But at
That's
the
an
same
argument you can make for a, let me see, a Sam Darnold, a Daniel Jones, somebody like that, somebody that's not that great yet. So we can say, okay, the opponent has a lot to do with it. When it comes to Mahomes, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Jalen Hurts, and Joe Burrow, when it comes to those 5 quarterbacks, I don't care about who you're going against. You got to produce. If you're in that top 5 conversation, the defense don't matter. You got to go out there and make plays. Period. That's how I feel about it. Maybe I'm holding to too high of a standard. I'm
not gonna say that. But so the past 2 weeks, has Jalen Hurts been playing good football?
Negative. I would not say he's been playing good football. No.
But because they've been winning, we're not even gonna talk about it.
We're not gonna talk. Well, we can talk about it if you want. I just feel like Jay Hurts has shown once again. Jay Hurts is in a different situation. Jay Hurts is never going to put up Mahomes like numbers. That's never gonna happen. Jay Hurts is not gonna.
He has the capability to.
But he doesn't. You know why? And we know why. We've had this conversation before. It's all about winning with him. He don't care how it gets done. With Mahomes is way more talented than Jay Hurts. I will say that. So Mahomes' ceiling is always going to be higher than Jay Hurts. So once again, we can't compare a guy that y'all try to compare to Tom Brady to Jalen Hurts. Okay, we can't do that. We just can't. Right? So I'm holding them to these high standards, and I just can't say that the defense for Denver is a big reason why he struggled. I won't do that. Right? But my thing about the Chiefs is, although I just said they're not as good as they once was, if they somehow get in the playoffs, I'm fearing for my life. As a Bills supporter, right? I picked them to go to the Super Bowl this year. I'm fearing for my life because let's just say them and Jacksonville switch spots, right? Who in the playoff picture do y'all trust to knock off the Chiefs in a playoff game?
Nobody.
Who? And it's funny because the top of the AFC are the teams that we don't really have that much faith in, to be quite honest with you. Like right now, the number 1 seed is Denver. Bo Nix in the playoffs, we're not comfortable enough with Bo Nix to say he can take care of business in the playoffs. Right? I don't think we're there yet. Would y'all agree?
True.
So then you look at the Patriots, they're new on the block. I don't think Drake May finna. I am the Drizzy Drake fan. I'm the conductor of the train. I'm sitting here telling you they might just lose in the first round because they're new to this. This is new, right? We're successful. First of all, they're way ahead of schedule, right? They might go into the playoffs as the top 2 seed. They might just get blown out in the first round. And I'm not gonna be mad at it because it's Drake May's first time in the playoffs, right? Like I think that can happen. 3rd seed is Daniel Jones in the Colts. We're all waiting for Daniel Jones to collapse. And over the past couple of weeks before their bye, he hasn't been looking that great. Right? Then the Steelers, do we trust the Steelers to beat the Chiefs in a playoff game? No. If we play the Chiefs first round, we're cooked. We're playing that right now. Like it's over with. It's okay. Right? Then the 5th seed is Buffalo. That to me is the biggest threat to KC. But what does history tell me? Josh Allen can't beat Mahomes in the playoffs. That's what history tells me at least. Then you got the Chargers who Justin Herbert wets the bed every time he gets in the playoffs, right? And other potential teams would be Jacksonville, who do we trust Trevor Lawrence to beat Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game? Then you got the Ravens with Lamar Jackson's history. Rell, you know, I can't guarantee the Ravens to beat the Chiefs. Like, who's going to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs? That's the question. So, Rell, if they make it, who outside of Buffalo, who are you confident in to knock off Kansas City in a playoff game? I don't care if it's an Arrowhead or whatever. Who do you trust outside of Buffalo to beat the Chiefs?
You shouldn't have asked me this question because I'm going to say Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. Yes, sir. I'm going to say the most talented team in the league, and I'm going to say the most talented regular season quarterback we ever seen. I'm going to have to say it. Like,
regular season, Rell. You just said it. The most talented regular season quarterback.
Like, he has to get it right at least sometime, right? Like, you can't tell me Lamar Jackson will be 39 years old and he won't be to the Super Bowl one time.
Hey, I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be the case.
I would not be shocked.
That's going to be the case.
He is a great regular season. Oh, my goodness. The same thing goes for – I can't really say James Harden because he's been there, but that don't count. He was there with OKC.
I'll say that.
But since OKC, from OKC to the end of his career, James Harden might not ever go to the finals.
He won't.
I don't count.
It's a dog on chain, but he won't.
Exactly. So it's not. Is it crazy to say James Harden was averaging what? What's Stephen A. say? Averaging 40?
40. Averaging
Like,
40. Putting up 50-point triple doubles. Still never
It's-
made it. But it's okay
it's-
though, Rell. He could be the greatest quarterback to never win a Super Bowl.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I said it on my video yesterday on my TikTok. If Josh Allen ever goes to the Super Bowl, then and we're saying who's the best quarterback to never go to the Super Bowl.
Some people are taking Lamar over Josh Allen though.
I'm taking
outside of Josh Allen.
I hear you though.
Outside of Josh Allen, who else is there that we can say?
Nobody. That's what I'm saying.
Honestly, when we look at QBs, what QB do we talk about being great that never won a Super Bowl? Like I honestly like real question. I can't think of one. Like we don't even talk about Phillip Rivers. Like
yeah, we don't talk about Phillip. We don't talk about Matt, who actually been in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Like we forget about these quarterbacks that don't win Super Bowl. So I'm not gonna lie to you, Rell. If Lamar doesn't go to the Super Bowl in 30 years, when the next Lamar Jackson comes out, we're not gonna remember this guy. We're not.
I promise you, we will. Like it's a reason why people talk about Mike Vick the way they talk about Mike Vick. Lamar Jackson is 10 times better than that guy.
That's
10
fine.
times
we can talk about Mike Vick, but we don't talk about him in no meaningful conversations. We only talk about him when we talk about black quarterbacks, running quarterbacks.
Talent.
That's it. Physical attributes. That's the only time we talk about
highlight reels. Like that's what look.
Madden like players.
So Rell so biasly said, I don't know if that's a word, but so biasly said that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens can knock off the Chiefs. I mean, there's no way you can go into a game in the playoffs. And Rell, there's no way you're coming on this podcast and you're saying, I have all my faith, I'm liquidating all my assets, and I'm putting them on the Ravens to beat the Chiefs. There's no way you can do it. You know what that is? That is insanity. You know what the definition of insanity is? Seeing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. Until Lamar Jackson does it, Lamar Jackson fans need to just be quiet and just ride the roller coaster and see what happens. Right? You cannot sit here and tell me you have faith that Lamar can beat Patrick Mahomes with a serious face. Tell me Lamar can beat Patrick Mahomes in a playoff game. There's no way. There's no way you tell me with a serious face.
Nah, so I wouldn't liquidate all my assets. Like the first question you asked, you said, "There's no way you wouldn't liquidate all your assets." There's no way I liquidate all my assets, especially after last year. But I tell you for a fact, I can most definitely see Lamar Jackson knocking off Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow did it. Why couldn't Lamar Jackson? Joe Burrow did it.
Because Joe Burrow
doesn't have a playoff.
Hey, all right, so talking about Joe Burrow way better than Lamar Jackson. That's what y'all trying to say. That's why.
And when it comes to big moments, yes. When it comes to big moments, yes. Now on a day-to-day basis, you can make an argument for Lamar Jackson. I'm not saying that. But when it comes to the biggest moments, Joe Burrow took his team to the Super Bowl. Joe Burrow, we've seen Joe Burrow with the lights are bright. He gets the job done. Your guy does it, and it's okay. He's top 5. Yeah. He's top 5. It's okay.
So real. Whenever that game happens, whenever the Chiefs play the Ravens, and we come in this podcast and we make our picks, you're gonna pick the Ravens.
I'll pick the. I'm telling you for a fact, I'm gonna pick the Ravens. I promise you, I'm gonna pick the Ravens. Hey, adversity. It's all about adversity. What?
I hear you, Jerrick. Outside of the Bills, real quick before we move on, do you trust anybody to knock off the Chiefs in the AFC? That's in the playoff picture or outside the playoff picture?
No.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
All you gotta do is make it. That's it.
They're not as good as they once was, but if they get in there, I'm not picking nobody outside of Buffalo. I would pick Buffalo to get the job done, but other than that, I don't trust nobody.
This could be a 2022 Golden State Warriors type run.
Can I tell y'all something?
Go ahead, tell me, please.
I really don't feel the hype about Buffalo. Like, I know they had a great season last year. They're playing pretty good this year. But, like, outside of Josh Allen, I never seen the hype about Buffalo. So, like, in that case, I just feel like they just always going to be a step below everybody. Like,
they are. And that's one thing, like, especially after this season, if Buffalo doesn't make it to the Super Bowl, we need to start dogging their front office because they've been so close and they've yet to make, like, their biggest move to try and overcome the Chiefs was signing Joey Bosa. Like, he's been playing pretty good for them this year. He's been healthy because, like, they've been, like, they kind of have him like a snap count kind of deal to keep him healthy, at least until the playoffs. But that's, like, the biggest move they made. So we need to start talking about that front office the way we talk about the Bengals because they haven't helped Josh Allen out. It's sad.
Facts. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next topic, which is a very hot topic in the world of sports right now. Not just the NFL, but the world of sports, guys. Shedeur Sanders got his shot last week. After halftime, Dylan Gabriel did not return to the game. He was on a concussion protocol. Shedeur Sanders won the game, and he did not look too great, right? But some people want to say he didn't have preparation. He didn't have snaps with the ones, this, that, and another, right? So this upcoming weekend, he will be starting against the Las Vegas Raiders, guys. So, Rell, how much pressure is on Shedeur?
That's a really, really good question. A really good question. But I feel like it's a lot of pressure on Shedeur. A lot of pressure on Shedeur. But I think he's been in big moments plenty of times, so it won't be nothing to him at Jackson State, Colorado, then going to the NFL. He's always had the pressure on him, big lights on him. So I think this should just be another stepping stone to the right direction. And like you just said, Shedeur Sanders came in the third quarter, second half, you know what I'm saying? Hasn't played with the ones all year, didn't get no reps with them. And he didn't play as good as he wanted to. I promise you it'll be a completely different week this week. But another reason why I say it's a lot of pressure on Shedeur is because Dylan Gabriel didn't play that bad. So if Shedeur Sanders is to mess up again or to have a bad game, they'll be so quick to try to find a replacement quarterback for him. So like my dad always told me growing up, like my mom always told me growing up, it's not about where you start, it's about where you finish. So any opportunity you get, any opportunity that you find, just make the most of it. And I truly believe that Shedeur Sanders will make the most of it. And like Bess said last week, hey, pressure either makes diamonds or it bursts pipes. And I'm a firm believer that putting pressure on Shedeur Sanders is going to make a diamond. Perfect time, man.
All right, Jerrick, how much pressure is on Shedeur?
I'm gonna say from the media and from the NFL fans that want him to fail, the NFL fans that think he deserved to fall in the draft where he did, there's a lot of pressure on him. There's a ton of pressure on him. But if you're a true football fan, there shouldn't be that much pressure on this kid because of the fact that if he fell all the way to where he fell to, then why are we putting so much pressure on him? We're putting more pressure on him going into this game than we put on Cam Ward this whole entire season. Cam Ward was the first pick. This kid fell back to what, the 6th, 5th round? Like this is almost like a replica of the Bronny James situation. You put so much pressure on a 2nd round pick than you put on the 1st and 2nd pick of the draft last year. I don't get it. I really don't. Now, mind you, I will say, like, in terms of real pressure, he will feel a sense of pressure because of the fact that they didn't bench Dylan Gabriel. Dylan Gabriel is in concussion protocol. Like, you have to start. It's not we're benching Dylan, you're the guy now. No, you've basically, like, it's almost like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of it, but basically, I get what I'm saying. Like, you were given this opportunity. Like, they didn't make you the quarterback. So it's kind of like, yeah. But anyways, there's not that much pressure on him, honestly. I don't think so. Like Rell said, like, he's been in situations of pressure before. Now, I get it. That was college. This is the NFL. It's different. But even going into last week, that last drive of the game, I low-key liked what I saw out of him. Now, we did talk about it, yes, on second and third down. He shouldn't have been trying to go for it all. He should have just tried to get more yards to make 4th down or make 3rd down more manageable. But I like what I saw. He navigated the pressure. He was able to, like, sustain the pressure, and he almost came away with the game. Like, he was that close to making that throw into the end zone. But regardless, like, he's going to be fine. And I think he will do fine because of the simple fact that, like, people might overlook this. He's got no reps with the ones the whole entire season. I don't see how that's crazy to me. The fact that you traded away Joe Flacco. He's your backup quarterback. He's your quarterback that's going to go into the game whenever Dylan Gabriel gets hurt like he just did, and he has no reps with the ones. Offensive lineman for the Cleveland Browns came out and said halftime was the first time they've heard this man's cadence. That's crazy work. The first time they've heard this man's snap count is at halftime. He basically said they had to go out there and just wing it. They had to go out there and just figure it out as they did. Now he has a week to prepare, a week to get ready, and on top of that, he's going against the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, this is perfect for him. You're going against a team that we just saw get embarrassed on Monday Night Football by the Dallas Cowboys. That defense got shredded. And now you get to go out there and go against them. And I think that on top of that, I think that the players, they're going to, like, if we really look at it, everybody in the Browns on the roster wants Shedeur to be their quarterback. They do. That's why Myles Garrett, that's why the offensive lineman came out and spoke about it after the game to take some of the blame off of Shedeur, because Shedeur was getting criticized by people in the media saying, oh, like, they gave you the chance and this is how you played. Myles Garrett even said, like, Shedeur tried to take that loss on himself, but they wouldn't let him. They wouldn't allow him to, because it was a team loss. And I also think that because of how, quote-unquote, poor he played last week, now he has an extra chip on his shoulder. It's just an extra motivation for him to go out there and to perform and to shine and to be what you say he is, legendary. So, look, I think that he's going to go out here. I think he's going to have a pretty good game. And I think that when Dillon Gabriel does clear the concussion protocol, he's going to put Kevin Stefanski in a situation that if Kevin Stefanski gives Dillon Gabriel the starting job back, there might be some riots in Cleveland. There actually might be. I've seen Cleveland fans. I know a Cleveland fan who said that when Shedeur went in the game, that's the happiest he's been since they made it to the playoffs and beat us in the playoffs. He's going to do fine. He's going to perform well. And I think that he will overcome the so-called pressure that he has.
All right. So Rell said he's under a lot of pressure, deservedly so. Jerrick said he's not. I think he's under the most pressure he's ever been in his life. From the time he picked up a football to now, this is the most pressure he's ever been under. He has to perform well. And you know what he has to do? I have a specific stat line that he has to do better than to get the monkey off his back, if you will. He has to be better than 19 for 33, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He has to do better than that. That was Dillon Gabriel's stat line in his very first start as a Browns quarterback. Okay, because he has to do better than that, because I've heard people like Jerrick Bess, I've heard people in the media, I've heard everyone saying Dillon Gabriel's not good, put Shedeur in. Y'all didn't say put Shedeur in so that he can develop. Y'all were saying put Shedeur in because he's better than Dillon Gabriel. So you better come out here and have a better debut than what Dillon Gabriel had. Don't come back telling me, oh, Shedeur needs time. Y'all didn't want to give Dillon time. Y'all been screaming for Dillon to get out the game, to get on the bench. So don't come out and say Shedeur needs time to develop. No, y'all were saying put Shedeur in because he can give you immediate impact. That's what y'all been saying. So he has to play great. Do I think he can? Yes. Do I think he could wet the bed a little bit? Yes. Like, it's 50-50 in my opinion. But what happened this past weekend is not good for the Shedeur fan base, right? I get it. He hasn't had reps with the ones. I get it. And I've heard players come on TV and say most backups don't really get reps with the ones. I've heard people say that on TV, right? So that really, it's a good excuse, but it's not you can't really use that, right? But on Sunday, Shedeur went 4 for 16. That is the worst completion percentage by any passer of the last 4 years with at least 10 attempts. So he went in and immediately made history for being bad, right? So I get it. It was against the Ravens, against Lamar Jackson, a divisional game. I got it. But this upcoming weekend, if you don't ball out, it will be heard from me, because, like I said, I was never against Shedeur. I was never really for Shedeur. I'm a big Deion fan, but I was never really a Shedeur guy. But what the problem is you can't make all that noise from the bench. You can't make all that noise from the media and then come in and not at least do better than what Dillon did his first game. Because Kevin Stefanski been going through it. Every single week he's been asked about Shedeur, who is the backup quarterback, right? So if y'all come out here and Shedeur plays bad, then we owe Kevin an apology. We got to owe him an apology, because y'all been putting pressure on the whole entire time. He wants Shedeur to fail. He doesn't want Shedeur to be in. Maybe he doesn't think Shedeur is that good. And if Shedeur goes out here on Sunday and plays bad, then we got to give him credit. We got to give Kevin credit. Right, so you have to do better than what Dillon Gabriel did in his first game for the media to be quiet. In my opinion, you have to. Because don't come out here and play worse than Dylan or play the same as Dylan. Then we're going to say, okay, so why was the noise so loud? And it's going to be because you're Deion Sanders' son. Jerrick brought up Bronny. The only reason why this is different is because when Bronny got to the Lakers, wasn't nobody screaming for him to start. Wasn't nobody saying start Bronny. Nobody was saying that. Nobody was saying Bronny should be getting playing time. Nobody was arguing that. The problem with Shedeur is everyone was screaming, put Shedeur in the game. So I better see that immediate impact. We have to. It's the pressure y'all put on the boy. And now if you come out there and don't do it, don't come out with the excuse that, oh, he needs time to develop. Nope, y'all didn't give Dylan Gabriel no time. So keep the same energy with Shedeur. But we're going to see. This Sunday, like I said, the biggest game of his life. Mind you, he's played with his dad his whole entire life. So when has he really had pressure when it comes to losing a spot? When, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to, oh, wow, this guy. Okay. All right. We gonna see. I'm sure gonna be watching. I'm sure
We'll
gonna
see
watch.
how that this Sunday.
A point that I was gonna bring up is he does play in the second game of the day. So all the lights could be on him. But I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, that the Cowboys and Eagles play at that time as well. So luckily, he not gonna have everybody watching him. Cause let me see. Let me make sure real quick. Dallas and Philly does play at that time, so it's not gonna be that much attention on him. But
They
people
feeling
gonna
like
be
it's
watching.
7, leave a comment down below, yo.